Hi friends, I'm out in the redwoods and I just want to read to you some of the stories while I'm out here. It's so beautiful in here. I hope someday you can come into the forest and see it too. I'll show you some pictures of what I'm looking at. But I brought my backpack and my water bottle and my book so I could read you a story. Okay, let's read about Moses parting the Red Sea. Oh, I know you know this story, but when I went hiking, I collected some rocks and pebbles so I could tell the story with these little rocks that I found. So maybe you can build your rock collection and you can tell the stories of Jesus too. Okay, this story is from the Old Testament. It's in Exodus chapter 13 and 14. All right, you ready for this? Now I know you probably heard the story about when Moses parts the Red Sea. Like all of a sudden the sea splits apart and they get to walk through on dry ground. Well, it's quite a story. Now, you might have already heard the story of the Passover, which I just also read. And if you have this book, then you can just click on those little QR codes right there with your cell phone, and then that brings up these videos. So you can go back and watch the video on the Passover where the miracle of the destroying angel passed right over the Israelite people, and so that they were preserved and nothing bad happened to them. Well, they needed another miracle because they were escaping Egypt and they needed a way out, but all of a sudden they were stopped by a sea and there was no place to go. So Moses prayed for a miracle and God helped them. Pretty cool. And that's so important because sometimes we feel really stuck and we need to pray for a miracle and have faith that God will help us. All right, here's the story. After Pharaoh finally obeyed God and let the enslaved Israelites leave Egypt, the Pharaoh got angry. He broke his promise to Moses and decided to keep fighting God by sending his army to chase after the Israelites. The soldiers caught up with the Israelites at the Red Sea. It looked to Moses and his people like they were doomed. The people were afraid, but Moses knew God would provide an escape from their enemies. He told them, "Fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace." Isn't that interesting? In this instance, God said, don't fight back, just stand still and I'll take care of it. I like that. Then God told Moses to raise his walking stick and the sea would part. A great wind blew all night, while a cloud hid the Israelites from the Egyptian army. A cloud! Can you imagine a cloud coming down and covering you and hiding you from your enemies? Well, that's what God did. In the morning, the sea had split in two, opening the way forward. The Israelites gathered their courage and walked between the giant walls of water on dry ground to the other side. The Egyptians, they followed them into the parted sea. But suddenly, the water crashed down on the soldiers and washed them all away. God did what no one else could. He gave Moses power to create a way where there was no way before. And here's a scripture from Exodus. Moses said to the people, "Remember this day in which you went out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage, for by strength of hand the Lord brought you out of this place." So Moses reminded them that this was a miracle and God did it. And again, there's the rocks that I use to tell the story. I wonder what your rock art looks like when you tell the story of Moses parting the Red Sea. Pretty cool. I love miracles, and I love that we can walk with God and be powerful. And we can by following his ways and loving him with our whole hearts more than anything else. Okay, well, I think we should read another story, and I'm going to do that. I'll find another spot where I can read one of these great stories from the Old Testament. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.